All right, this is the all-new Super Sea Wolf diver from Zodiac. But we're talking about the latest incarnation of Zodiac divers with the vintage or heritage theme that came out 6 to 7 years ago, maybe 2014, I think. Zodiac, if you are not aware, has a long history and many different dive watches amongst other models throughout the years. But for the past 7 years or so, they have had two dive watch series, the Seawolf Compression 53 and the 68 Saturation Diver. But this isn't going to be a history lesson, of course, about Zodiac divers. No, today I will be talking about the newest Super Sea Wolf, and Zodiac has done a lot of what I was hoping for. This one is 42 millimeters, has a new dial and handset, crown guards, a new crown, and lots more. It also now delivers ISO specifications, or ISO specifications, if you will, and 300 meters of water resistance. This is Don Evans from Watch Report. Let's get into the review and see if this is the ultimate Zodiac diver. Okay, so shortly on screen, I will display all of the specifications, but as I said, this is an all-new 42 millimeter case, and unlike the 53 compressor models, this Seawolf is slightly chunkier and has integrated crown guards and an all-new crown. 5 colors are available. I went with the most traditional here to review, the stainless black with orange, and all will come on the new 7-link bracelet. If you want something a little bolder, there are the usual Zodiac colors available, like the watermelon or the orange sherbet, among others. Now, I had actually planned on reviewing the refreshed version of the Compression 53. If you haven't seen that yet, go and take a look at the Zodiac website. I still may, but my contacts within Zodiac had changed over the past couple of months. I didn't know that they were working on this all-new 42 millimeter Zodiac IOSO diver. And so that's where we are. Now, I still may review, like I said, that previous or that refreshed or facelifted version of the 53, but that still has the same case and crown as the recent Zodiac watches I reviewed, the World Timer and the Toppers Limited GMT. This new case addresses a lot of the issues I had with the previous case design and brings it up to my personal favorite case size of 42 millimeters. So I'm going to start talking here. I'm going to start off talking here about what I like with this piece, and the first thing is going to be the size. Yes, size is subjective, and I have already seen people wishing this was 40 millimeters, or some even hoping for 36 millimeters, and others, of course, wanting 44 millimeters and up. Now, it's probably about 15 years ago now, but I used to love wearing 50 millimeter watches. These days, 42 millimeters is my sweet spot. 50 millimeter lug to lug, again, perfect. It's just a great size for my 7.5-inch wrist for everyday wear. Now, I also love this new dial. It has a raised chapter ring with cutouts for the indices, similar to the Tudor Pelagos, and the dial is black sunburst, which always gives off that charcoal gray look. This is a no-date watch. It keeps the dial cleaner, and with all the lines of text on the dial that Zodiac does and all the different fonts, I think anything you could do to make the dial cleaner is a good thing. Unfortunately, this is not a no-date movement, so yes, you do get the phantom date wheel when you pull the crown to the first position. The new handset is somewhat similar to the Seawolf 68, but this is all arrows, as you can see, including the second hand, and less phallic looking, if you will. Now, the case is also something I'm very fond of. It retains the same silhouette, if you will, as the previous Seawolf models, but this case is thicker, and the overall design is blockier, and the blockiness extends to the crown guards. And with the case being all satin brushed, just an overall more rugged looking case design. And you'll be glad to know that the case, including the underside, doesn't have any rough edges or hot spots, as I call them, and it's very comfortable against the wrist. Now, the case back is standard fare for Zodiac divers as well. You see the stamped case back here. And I'm sure some out there would like to see the COSC SW200 movement. I personally like a solid case back, and while this is nothing fancy, I like the look and the finishing on this one. I Also, love the look of the new 7-link bracelet, and I have to say, it really does drape and hang perfectly on the wrist. It's just very comfortable and attractive, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of high polished surfaces in a bracelet, the links here are small, so scratches really won't show up that much, and it does match nicely with the polish on the bezel and the crown. But there are a few talking points here, and one is that the bracelet uses pin and collar system, not friction pins or screws. Now, that's not really a bad thing at all. They're very secure, of course, but they are a little more aggravating to remove when sizing is all, and if you're not familiar, you're going to want to take it to a jeweler, but no big deal though. But then we get to the clasp, and that does leave me scratching my head. Zodiac has gone all out here on a new dive watch. It's a new case, it's new dials, 300 meters water resistant, you name it. But then they went and put a butterfly deployant clasp on this new ISO rated diver. Seriously, that is a big WTF moment. I I do not dive. I've never claimed to, and I don't know the percentage of people who will buy this watch, and the majority that actually dives with watches like this. And if they do dive, will they wear this watch as a backup or just use their dive computer? Whatever the case may be, I just don't understand how this watch does not have a dive clasp with some kind of extension on it. Now, let me be clear. This is a comfortable bracelet, and the clasp does look very nice, and it's integrated into the bracelet, and integrated in the bracelet near the clasp, like other Zodiac bracelets, is the spring links or stretchy links, as I'll be showing you on screen. So it helps with sizing, and it's giving you that extra little expansion. And, it's not having that one link out too tight, one link back in too loose setup. But I don't think it will help you if you actually wanted to use it over a wetsuit. And I still question the longevity of those stretchy links. One other last nitpick, especially with this bracelet having the pin and collar system, is I wish this watch had drilled lugs, as it would just make it easier getting the bracelet off. Zodiac is offering another option, but at least at this time, an extra expense. Zodiac has new accordion style rubber straps in an array of colors, including the orange shown here in this video, and also black, blue, and I believe even white. They are FKM rubber straps, sized at 120 by 75 millimeters, and they're not only great to look at, but very comfortable, and I do think they complement this watch very well. But as I said, unlike the previous Sea Wolf models, where you could buy either the rubber strap or bracelet version, and there was a significant price decrease if you went with the rubber strap, I think like a few $100s, this new model and new strap makes you spend another $95 to get the rubber strap on top of the $1,700 you spent for the new Sea Wolf. A few other things I want to note before I get to the Lume, and first would be the bezel action and insert. The insert is gloss ceramic and slightly domed, and nothing wrong with that, but I think I would prefer a flat insert. Bezel action is also just slightly looser than I'd like. Maybe loose is not the right word, but I wish the bezel action was a little more solid feeling. The other issue is while this is a new crown and you do have those chunky crown guards, I wish the crown did not taper. You may be thinking that is a weird thing to pick on, but this is more about function than aesthetic. The crown guards do somewhat get in the way of using the crown, and I think if the crown did not taper at all, you would have more purchase area, and it would just be easier to use the crown, especially for screwing it back down, which I find to be tedious as is. So I've had a few inquiries about the Lume, and let's just say Zodiac Lume on the dive watches, again, in their current iteration, hasn't been the best. So with this new diver, they are of course touting grade A Super Luminova, but unfortunately they do not say if it's C1 or C3 or X1 Lume, etc. Well, I could tell you a few things. One, you can see that the applied Lume, it's a little outside the lines on some of the indices, and the Lume on the hands, 12, 3, 6, and 9 indices, and the bezel is the strongest. You will notice the other smaller indices dim much quicker. Now, I tested this overnight, and we all know how Lume works. It's never going to be as bright as when it's first charged, but I could still see the Lume on the hands and bezel 5 hours later in complete darkness, but this is still not a Seiko or a Lume Tech or anything like that. So is it an upgrade? For sure. Will it blow you away if you're, and especially if you're a Lume junkie? Absolutely not. So the question is this the ultimate Zodiac Super Sea Wolf? Or the Super Sea Wolf diver, if you will? Well, if you're comparing it to all Zodiac watches of all time, probably not. But in terms of what they currently offer, I would say yes. It is a great looking piece, especially in this black and orange combo. It really does have a great build quality and finishing as usual. Of course, you get a COSC SW200, which is keeping better time than listed COSC specs on this one, as far as so far anyway, at minus 3 seconds a day. I do think this is a big upgrade to their current lineup, and I hope they do even more versions of it in the future. An all titanium one would be great, or even an all DLC, including the bracelet. As it is with all it offers, I think this is a great piece and a welcome addition to the Zodiac line. I just hope they start offering it on a strap only, as it would reduce the price and not force customers to spend even more money, especially if they don't care for bracelets. But I want to hear from you guys. Don't be afraid. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this new Zodiac Super Sea Wolf. All links will be in the description, including a written review soon. As always, likes are appreciated, a comment as well, and if you're not subscribed, come on, it's about time, isn't it? Hit that subscribe and notification button. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.